You definitely aren't alone in this. This is something I hear a lot is people wish that they had been learning more about like how to confidently and effectively say no to somebody or just to have some of these conversations. So I'm going to briefly go over what we talk about in our curriculum. So in our curriculum, we have something called the SWAT technique, which I like to point out to people. This is honestly just a good way of communicating, of having conversations with people. It doesn't have to necessarily revolve around refusing to have sex with somebody. You can use it to effectively communicate with anyone, not just your sexual partners. It's a good way to set boundaries. So first step, you want to say no, and we always talk about like what examples of a good no are. Using your body language, making sure you're projecting a strong tone, looking somebody in the eyes, and all these things. It does require practice. You know, the more you have these conversations, the easier it becomes, but you do have to just start using them. And I also like to point out is that if you're going to say no to somebody, or if you're on the other side of it, if someone's giving you a no, they don't need to do the rest of it in order for it to count. Like, if you say no, people should just accept your no. The rest is all about good communication and building a relationship that's going to grow forward in a positive direction. Our next step, we're going to explain why. So this kind of gives your partner an idea of why you don't want to do whatever this behavior is. So when we're teaching about like sex ed and stuff, that could be saying, I don't want to have sex without a condom, or I don't want to have sex, or whatever it may be. But again, you can use all this just for talking boundaries with people in your life. So this kind of gives that other person an idea of where you're coming from so that they can kind of see where your head's at. Makes it a lot easier to have a conversation if you're openly communicating your concerns and those feelings. Next is my favorite part to go over in class, so providing an alternative. So this is saying, hey, I'm not going to do this with you right now. However, I still want to have whatever this relationship is. So let's do something else instead. So you could say, you know, let's watch a movie. Let's go get something to eat. Like, let's do something else that shows that I'm still interested in this relationship. I just don't want to do whatever that activity is. And then our last one, talking it out, making sure, you know, we're all on the same page. We're all good. There's no residual tensions. Everybody's had a chance to, you know, express their own feelings, and everyone feels like they're heard, and we can be comfortable in the conclusion that we came to together. So yeah, feel free, you know, if you want to save this. It's a really great technique. Like I said, anyone can use it when discussing their boundaries, and that in and of itself is something we don't talk about enough. And effective communication. A lot of people don't learn how to communicate very effectively, and I really feel like this is a great technique. And hopefully is helpful to you and you feel confident in being able to make your own decisions. But just know, it does take practice, so the first few times you do it, it might feel a little weird, but you'll feel much more confident and like you are ready for it. You're ready to discuss these things with partners over any little thing. Also, my biggest tip for this too is to have this conversation with yourself ahead of time, just so you can figure out all your thoughts and feelings on the matter to begin with. That also helps you come from a very like confident, you know, stand. You already know how you think and feel about it, so it's much easier to be able to say confidently. So